Hi, Chillie with Chillie's Cruises, with the first episode of my journey with prostate cancer. I've decided to do this on a weekly basis, that I'll keep you up to date on what's happened, the good, the bad, and the ugly as I go through this journey. I'm going to try to keep it separate from my normal travel and cruise industry stuff, so that I don't totally compete with it and keep it on its own accord, but you will find it here. It's going to be posted on my YouTube channel. It'll be posted on Facebook. I welcome all of you to subscribe to this channel, so you'll know when I post something new. And of course, if something major happens, I'll post more than just once a week. The first episode goes back last week. Week one is part of the information and diagnostic stage of this whole situation. It all started last Sunday morning when I had some difficulty urinating, going to the bathroom during the night. I felt like it was probably a urinary tract infection. And my thinking was, as I went through the early part of the day Sunday, is I can survive this until Monday and go see my regular physician, Dr. David Smith. Some of you have met him on this channel before. And get a antibiotic or whatever you do for urinary tract infections. That was just my concept of what was going wrong. Monday evening, however, by then, my entire plumbing had shut down. And I was starting to get in pain as fluids were building up. I didn't know it at the time. And something that's very difficult for me to do, I voluntarily went to the emergency room. And thank goodness, Dr. Mike and his staff at the emergency room at Lynchburg General Hospital was fabulous. I got in quickly. They ran some tests. They decided what they needed to do was put in a catheter. And folks, if you're going for this for the first time, that's not pleasant. There's no way around it. It's very uncomfortable, but it was not near as bad as I pictured it to be. The main thing is it took the 10 or 15 seconds it took to insert the catheter. Within a couple minutes, my pain level went almost to zero. I mean, once that pressure was relieved and as fluid started flowing, I felt better quickly. Over the course of the next hour or so in the emergency room, I got over 2 liters of fluid from my system. They ended up sending me home with some meds and the instruction, of course, to see my personal physician about what's going on and the possibility of getting the catheter out. Foley catheter, folks, does a wonderful job, but it's terribly uncomfortable. It's just not, it's not the best thing in the world, but it does its work. And unfortunately, I still have it on, and it's just a pain in the butt, quite frankly, but it beats the alternative. So I got home from the hospital a little after midnight. I actually got a little bit of sleep, got up Monday, got a hold of Dr. David, and went and got in there Monday afternoon. By then, he had gotten results from the tests at the hospital for looking for the infection in the urine, the urinary tract infection, and it was negative. So he says, well, that's not an infection, so we got to figure out what's causing this. So we're leaving the catheter in for now because you have to continue to be able to urinate, even though you don't actually urinate, but drain the fluids. And we're going to do a PSA test. And I said, what's that? It is a prostate-specific antigen test, and it's a precursor test for prostate cancer. He says, blood work, we'll take it now. I'll have the results early in the morning. I said, okay. So they drained a little blood and sent me home. Early the next morning, Dr. David called me and said, your levels are extraordinarily high, and the levels are over 400. I don't know what that means. I've not even asked what that means yet, but anyway, high. So he said, we need to get you in to see a urologist. And I said, well, the hospital set up an appointment for a couple of weeks from now for me to go see the urologist and try to figure out what caused all this. So David said, okay, that's fine. He said, I'll contact them and see if what they want to do. So I hung up. 5 minutes later, the phone rang and said, you're to be at the urologist at 1 o'clock in 3 hours. That's the first time, folks, that I had the shock to my system of, uh-oh, there's a problem. So I went on to the urologist, Dr. Valenti, who's fabulous. It was not a pleasant exam. There's no way around this, folks. The exam of your prostate is awful. But in fact, she determined that I do have prostate cancer and started coordinating things, setting me up to see an oncologist, getting some testing going, and et cetera, et cetera. Part of the information gathering stage in still the diagnostic phase of this situation. So that's the way basically the week ended last week, with getting everything set up and appointments and so forth. Now, week 2, which obviously started technically yesterday, this is Tuesday morning. This afternoon, I see the oncologist, the first appointment with Dr. Jenkins. On Wednesday, I go for an MRI, which is very similar to tests that I've taken for the lung situation. The lung situation possibly is related. That was something that Dr. Valenti discovered. So I've had nodules in my lungs for some time, which we've always assumed was as a result of all the years I smoked. Now, I've not smoked for 5 years now, but they've been watching them. So I regularly take these MRI scan, and they watch the growth of the nodules in my lungs, and a couple of them have grown a little bit recently. Dr. Valenti feels that this could all be related. So they're proceeding in that general direction. So anyway, the MRI is Wednesday. And then Friday, I go to Lynchburg General Hospital for a full body scan. That's one of the radioactive things. It takes several hours. On my report for week 2, I'll try to get maybe some pictures that I can share with you as to what they're doing to me and so forth, and some more information. Clearly, folks, we're still at the information gathering stage. Then the doctors will develop a treatment protocol, and we will attack this disease as best we can and see what happens. It's amazing that my mother, when she passed away, she had been a cancer survivor for 50 years. I never realized how important being a cancer survivor is. And that clearly is my goal. So this ends week 1. If you're new to my channel, thank you for being here. There could be times when I will post links to information, or I have no idea at this point. Any kind of links will be down in the description of this video, so you can always check that out and follow links and so forth. There's also ways to contact me personally if you should desire to do that. There is links to Facebook, Twitter, my website, my YouTube channel, all those kind of things. And again, feel free to subscribe to this channel. You can just ignore the fact when my travel and cruise industry stuff pops up. If you don't want to look at that, that's fine. And just want to keep up with the prostate cancer journey, that's fine too. So anyway, feel free to subscribe to this channel. And for now, we're heading down the road of the journey. I'll keep you posted and talk to you for week 2. Thanks.